Guys, this is a private video just for collectors that I talk to regularly. Maybe in the future I'll make it public. This is going to be Nia's and my and Abby's new place, hopefully until we buy our dream home. It's half of a three-bedroom duplex. Well, it's a three-bedroom duplex. You know, the whole building is obviously 6 bedrooms total, if that makes sense. So this is where you first walk in. There's a foyer with this blue light that's coming down. And then going down here is 1 bedroom and the kind of a rec room and the laundry room. And then here is the living room. And there's the kitchen. So I'll show you around a little bit, but this is mainly to help me figure out stuff with fans. So my plan is the first thing I'm going to do is just replace light fixtures with fans. I'm not going to add any fans places that don't have boxes like here in the living room until I've gotten all the fans that aren't light, that are, you know, replacing light fixtures worked out. So I'm pretty certain what I want to do here is put that 38-inch World's Fair on a nice long down rod and put a 4 light kit on it where the bulbs point down. And I need to find that light kit, so hopefully somebody can help me because I don't have a polished brass one. Probably put a ceiling medallion on it. The other alternative for here was the air shadow, but I think we already signed our lease and everything, but we can't move in until they finish cleaning. The landlords and whatnot are still cleaning the carpets and stuff like that. So there's that from this angle. So haven't thought about what I want to put in the living room yet, but like I said, that's down the road. So I'm pretty much all but sold on the air shadow over the little dinette table. You can't really call this a dining room. But I think the air shadow, because Nia really likes it, that would give us a lot of light over the table. And that way, that way it's still like a showpiece. Like Nia's complaint when I put it in the bedroom of our current place was that nobody gets to see it, and she thinks it's something you show off. So yeah, either here for the air shadow or here, but I'm pretty sold on the World's Fair here on like maybe a 2-foot down rod, 1.5, 2 feet. I don't know how far. I'll have to measure. I'll have to bring a measuring tape over. And the air shadow here, it should probably hang down about as low as this chandelier does, so that might need a little bit longer down rod. So here's my first question mark, is what to go in the kitchen. So if this is bronze, then this here needs to be bronze, but I also want it to tie into whatever fans are here. I hate having fans, different finishes in the same room, but I don't see any way around that if I use the air shadow. You know, that World's Fair is already kind of like darker than polished, lighter than antique, so that'll mix with, you know, much of anything, but I don't know. The air shadow is bronze. I don't have a lot of bronze. My first thought here was that I would try to find a Beckwith, a bronze Beckwith to go here, because Nia would like that, and that would mix with the air shadow. And then this room is kind of one distinct statement, and then this room is a different statement. Yeah, we'll see if that's going to be a thing. I don't think that's going to be a thing. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that down the road. Another thing I want to look at is just, so one, is this separated? No, that's long. So I need 1, 2, 3 short under cabinet lights and 1 long one. And then there's a recessed light up here. Because that gives me the option to not have a light here, just have a fan. So a couple ideas that have been tossed out. A brown 42-inch Hunter Original, that's been tossed out. The brown 42-inch Thomas Fasco. I don't have a brown 42-inch Hunter Original, by the way. Brown Thomas Fasco. I don't have a whole lot of ideas from here, the Beckwith. So I'm really looking for suggestions for here. Again, it should either be brown or some other, brown or really dark brass, or brown and antique brass. Some way it should go with the air shadow some kind of way. You know, and then somehow tie into the Fasco. So I haven't measured, but I'm almost certain that the 29-inch Homestead will fit here. So that'll just move from one hallway to the other. If it doesn't, I'll check the St. Louis. So the bedrooms won't be for later because they don't have ceiling boxes. So that's another thing that Nia and I have been talking about, because she wanted a Beckwith for her. Okay, so what we're going to do, this room will be our master bedroom. It's about the same size as our current bedroom. I think it might be a little bigger. Nia thinks it might be a little smaller. We haven't measured yet. So, is that centered? Is this going to be a problem? I might have to move it. If not, the fan might be a little off-center, but I got to figure out where the studs are. Again, that's a project for another day. So, yeah. She wanted a Beckwith, but so this is going to be her beauty room. So all of her makeup stuff, which right now is probably half in the bedroom and half just elsewhere in our house, which is why our house is so cluttered. So this will be just her room to do with it what she pleases. You know, have her makeup and beauty stuff in here. She wanted a Beckwith in here. Problem is the Beckwith isn't enough light for her to do her beauty stuff. So my suggestion, because I want both bedroom fans to kind of tie in together. So my suggestion was the brown and cane, or the dark antique brass and cane. I said call it brown when I'm talking to her because she doesn't know the difference. Island fans in here, and the white and brass island fans in here because she actually likes the white and brass island fans. But the problem is the only light kits she likes are modern. So it'd have to have a modern light kit on it. So we're still, again, that's way down the road. I'd rather the two fans be similar finishes, but I think if they're the same fan, the exact same fan in different finishes, then that's similar enough. So that's the two upstairs floors. And it doesn't look like much right now, but I think we'll be able to make it look real nice in here. So this is kind of, I guess, meant to be a rec room. This will be my space to do with what I please, which is going to be a home studio. I'm going to have an organ down here with a Leslie. Going to have my guitar recording rig. Is there a phone jack down here so we can have our modem? Right there. I'll see if that'll work. So yeah, this will be, and again, I'm not thinking too far ahead for fans here. My thoughts have been the same little veranda that's in the second bedroom right now. Maybe that 42-inch cane Moss Four Seasons copy. Maybe a banana fan. Those are all my current ideas. Looking at it now, I could put a 52-inch fan in here. I was kind of thinking I'd do, just because of the retro wood paneling and stuff, that I would do a small fan and do it not centered, but towards the front. Because like my studio desk and stuff will probably be all in the front. Or I could also do a row of track lights towards the front and a fan towards the back. But either way, that'd be a smaller fan. I don't know. This is way in the future, but those are the things I've thought of so far. This will be Abby's room. And I haven't even begun to think of what fan goes in here. Here's the laundry room. I gotta get a washer and dryer. It's, unfinished laundry room. So I'm obviously gonna take that light down and put some fluorescent lights up. Maybe use some of my, what you call it? I never thought to look. Is this a gas furnace? Yeah, this is a gas furnace. That'll be nice. And I'm, definitely going to put a fan in here, and I'm leaning towards the 36-inch CEC. So, here's the one thing that has troubled me so far, because I do not want any ceiling boxes to have lights in them. So here, this would obviously need to be a small fan. How's that going to work? So I need to find a fan there that clears the space and clears the door. So only thing I've thought of so far is that little Key Largo that was on Rockford Craigslist that another collector bought, and maybe I could buy it off of them. But I don't even know if that would work. So this is going to be something I'll have to work on. So, and this to some people might be the coolest part, my wife has promised me that if we can store everything else inside the house, then I can have a fan workshop in the garage. You can see I already brought over a workbench. So I just have to figure out what fans to hang in here. And so let's open the garage up. So I want to see how far that door goes. the door goes to, let's just say for the sake of argument, this hole in the bracket. Okay, let me close it now. So, I have to figure out lighting and fans. So one thing I have to figure out is if I'm going to use it for fan testing instead of using the shop attic, where do I test? Do I test on this lower section or do I test on this higher section? I'm going to put the workbench where the trash cans are. Excuse me. So this, I won't, I'll figure this out later, but it's something I'm thinking about. I'm hoping I can use some of my half-pipe fluorescent fixtures here. But again, I'm trying to figure out how to fit everything. If I put 2 half pipes there, then there's no room for a fan. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. This lower ceiling section here kind of kills that. But it's enough space that I can figure it out. It just might be either a good place to test fans, but not have any cool lighting or fan installs. Or I could do cool lighting and fan installs, but not really test fans down here. So, what is that? Just a piece of speaker wire just tied to the opener, I guess, so that you know where to... Interesting. Other thing is I have to work out is there's that outlet. There's only 2 outlets in here, and hopefully they're on different circuits. So, that's that. And then there's no real place in front for the Torrento, is that what it's called? The pedestal fan? But there is a back deck. So, the question is there an outlet out here? Let's yeah, outlet right there. So I'll go back here. And nice backyard. So I'll either have to mow or pay people to mow. So that's the disadvantage of moving out of the condo. So everybody does your lawn and snow removal for you. But we'll see. I think these retro window shades are kind of cool. Yeah. Well, if you're watching this video in the month of February or probably even March, then you're somebody I trust, or the video was showed to you by somebody I trust, in which case that means I shouldn't trust them. So I guess in either case I welcome your opinions. Just because somebody suggests something doesn't mean I'm going to like they're going to do it, but all suggestions are helpful. Even ones I hate are helpful because they help me, go through and figure stuff out. So I got to continue going about my day, but just wanted to show you everything here. So really excited about moving in here. It's a lot more space than my current place. I can't remember if it's more space than the place I had before that. The place I had before that was that townhouse, and I never did a video of it, but I did pictures. There was a Terra in the living room, Homestead Whisper Fan 3 in the dinette, and a Four Seasons on a fan lifter in the bedroom. So if you saw those pictures, that's what that was. I just never did a video there. In between that time, I lived with Nia in Virginia, and that place had two fans that were there when she moved in, 2 newer fans. I don't remember if they were, one in the bedroom, one in the living room. And then I put that Westinghouse copy, that K63 Westinghouse copy in the kitchen. That was really cool. Let's see. Where did I live before that? Before that, in place in Horeb. Before that was my first apartment that I had for close to 10 years. that I've talked about a lot, and there's pictures floating around on the web somewhere. And, well, I kept that apartment even when I lived other places. So I got that fresh out of high school, and it was just so nice and so cheap that even when I moved to other states, I kept paying on it back home. And that was a train of thought that's hard to remember. So, okay, I'll come back to that because I'll talk about the places I lived in between while I still had that. I had a place in Mississippi where I rented a room in a family's house, and there was one of those patent things like the one that Jimmy gave me in my room. There was a bunch of those elsewhere in the house, and then there was an R&M polished brass original in the family room. That was when I lived in Mississippi. When I lived in Maryland, like near DC, and the other side of DC from where I lived with Nia, I stayed with my godbrother, and there were no fans. And then when I lived in Central Virginia, you guys may have seen pictures of that too. That was a really nice apartment from the 30s. It was just this Art Deco style apartment from the 1930s with really high ceilings. Just a beautiful place, except the kitchen was terrible. It had the tiniest kitchen I've ever seen. And I had a Newtone veranda deluxe in the living room, a smaller veranda deluxe in the dining room. I actually had a formal dining room. I switched the bedroom fans a lot, but at first it was a 38-inch Four Seasons, and then later it was a Terra, white and brass Terra. I got my first white and brass Terra when I lived there. And second bedroom had a Thomas Fasco hugger. And Brian Hicks ended up with a lot of those fans, and Pierce Phillips ended up with the rest of them, and they were lost in a fire. So then after that, and before that, I had my first apartment back in Madison. When I first moved in, the first fan I hung was that white Lasco in the kitchen with a 3-light kit, and that stayed there the entire time I was there. Second fan I hung was a Casablanca Zephyr in the living room, polished brass bell canopy. It was the first bell canopy fan I had, I think. And then first bedroom fan was a Fasco Charleston that I later gave to Cole. Cole, if you're watching, I don't know, just shout out that I remember giving you that fan. I'm really shocked that I gave away a Fasco Charleston because it's not like Fascos are that common, but I think I was just so excited to be visited by another collector, especially when I was younger. At the time, Cole was a kid. I mean, Cole was probably Reese's age. And in hindsight, I can't think of a better person to give a cool fan to. Cole is, to this day, is one of the people I respect and admire the most in the, of the vintage fan collectors. So hopefully he still has that. It wasn't even a great Charleston. I think I didn't even have the blades or something. But even so, at the time, I didn't have the type of collection that I have now. So giving away a Charleston was a big deal. But that was my first fan in my bedroom. And then later I changed the living room fan to a Terra when I got my first Terra. And then later I changed the living room fan to a World's Fair when I got my first World's Fair. And train of thought lost. Bedroom fan I changed a million times, but the one that stayed the longest was the Sonidair, which is another fan I thought about for the kitchen here, by the way. Sonidair Air Shadow? I don't know, but we'll think about it. Are these in a line? They are, but they don't look like it. They look like this one's further this way, but they are. I think it's because the fridge sticks out so much. This is on a dimmer, by the way, so that'll have to go. So, plus the Sonidair I think is too big. That's an idea. It's a lot bigger kitchen we have now in terms of preparation space, but it's not a whole lot bigger in terms of cabinet space. And since we're no longer going to have a pantry, I think Nia's going to hate that, but we'll see. Maybe there's where the internet should go. I'm trying to figure out where to put like the router. Where I need it is downstairs because that's where I'm going to have my studio. That's where it needs to be hardwired. But I'll find out when the installers come. Yeah. So anyhow, that was the Sonidair was the fan that I most that I kept in my bedroom for the longest. Somewhere in between the Fasco and the Sonidair, there was a Homestead Universal. There was a KDK Royal Air SMC, the 24 karat gold Laguna that's now in the museum. And that's all I remember, but I know I changed it more. Oh, a two-tone veranda deluxe when I got my first veranda deluxe. That one in the bedroom. Yeah, I don't remember everything, but I put a lot of... The bedroom was where I changed fans at that place. Like in my current place, it's the living room, is where I changed fans. Here, I'm not planning to change fans a lot, but I said that about my current place, and I ended up doing it. When I change fans, I don't like it to be a place that doesn't have a box. So the living room fan here, whatever I pick, will be permanent. I'll tell you what I want for here, I don't have one to spare because they're in the museum, and the only other person that has one, I don't think they'll sell or trade it to me, but I'm going to hope. An eye fan. I would love to put an eye fan in the living room, and then, you know, the World's Fair there, and then the other stuff in the kitchen. If I could get an eye fan for the living room, a brass one, polished or antique, preferably antique, then I would be content to never change it. But, you know, like I said, I'm not going to worry about the living room until I got all the ceiling boxes. So this probably won't change because that's going to be a pain. Why is my cough so bad today? I took my medicine. This probably won't change because that's the air shadow. Maybe this will be the one that changes. I don't know. There's just not a good place to rotate a fan in this place because kitchen and dining room aren't ideal. Dining room has to have a light. Kitchen has to have clearance. Living room has no box. That's over a staircase. So that's, you know, not an ideal place to change fans. The bedrooms have no boxes. There's just not a good place to swap fans frequently here. And the reason I don't want for a place that I'm not going to be in forever. You know, this was our dream house and we were buying it, then that'd be a different story. So, this has been a longer video than I thought. So if anybody stuck with me to the end, let me know in the comment that you've stuck with me through the end by typing pickles or dancing cheese or trying to think of one of those other funny phrases. Dancing cheese is from the Muppets. Pickles is just a funny sounding word. Worldwide Pants is David Letterman's production company, just because he likes the sound of it.